Welcome to Brunch with REC, another edition.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning and welcome.
Nice to start a Saturday morning with you guys.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen.
He's saying who's the best looking panel on Zoom right now. And it's this one right here.
Hey. It's Brunch with REC. That means it's Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and we're live on Facebook. If you're watching the recording, big shout out to you as well. Make sure if you're watching the recording of this to still leave your questions, your comments, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're big boys here and girls. We can handle the constructive criticism. We want to know all of it from you. But to everybody who's coming on live right now, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, I still don't have my business partner back here yet, Mr. Simos Papailias. He might be even watching. He is still in Greece dealing with some family business. He'll be back, I believe, this Wednesday. He's back to the office. Simos, get back here. We miss you. We need that smile. We need that teddy bear back here. And obviously, he'll be joining us on our next brunch. Big shout out to Tina and Ada. We had a really interesting week this past week. And before I get into everything that was happening this week, and Tyler's in the comments here, making sure that he lets everyone know that he's here. Oleg, what's going on? Bindi, it's been a while. Nice to see you. Mr. Steven Rochester behind the ones and twos. He's making sure that Jazzy's looking fresh and the Brunch with REC, the platform and everything is going well. Today, I want to talk about the agenda for today. So first and foremost, a lot of you are probably coming in to see who's going to be winning the $1,000 gift card for filling out the survey. However, if you have not yet filled out the survey that we sent out via email a few times, you still have an opportunity to do so, because we're not going to be doing the live draw till about 11:10, 11:15. So you still have, you know what? I'm going to do the cutoff at 11 a.m. The cutoff, Steven, is going to be 11 a.m. Do me a favor, put the link in there. Very simple, guys. All you got to do is go to reccanada.com/survey. That's reccanada.com/survey. Big shout out to Tyler and Laura for putting together all the questions that we were originally going to be putting in this survey. So let me give you a little backstory on this survey as you guys go there. I come into the office on a Tuesday morning and I say, guys, it's time. We need to reach out to our clients, to our REC insiders, the families, the friends, everyone. A little over 9,450 people that we've been in contact with and growing for the last 16 years. I want to go out with a few questions, and it ended up being 36 questions. Tyler, doing what he does, found the platform, did the research, took maybe 2-3 hours to do so. Laura putting all the questions in. And then when I noticed it was 36 questions, I was like, I came in the next day, these two, put in the 8-9 hours collectively. I come in the next day and I decide that we're only going to go with one question. The real question that matters, how we here at REC Canada can serve you better. That's all we're asking in this 1-minute survey that it'll probably take you 42 seconds to do. But if you want to put in a little bit more, that's great. We would love to hear more feedback. Actually, I wonder if, Stephen, if you can actually bring up that page just to show how easy it is. If you go to reccanada.com/survey, we're going to be randomly picking a name, email at around 11:10, 11:15 today for $1,000 giveaway. There's no strings attached. We've never really done this before. That's not who, we don't really do a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. However, it's going to be very easy. All you got to do is fill out the survey. We're going to pick someone randomly at that 11:10, 11:15 a.m. time today, Eastern, and you're going to win a $1,000 Visa gift card. There's no strings attached. You don't need to buy a property with us. You don't have to be a past client. None of that. It's just we're going to randomly pick it because we want to reward we want to reward everyone at some point with doing business with us or even reaching out to us. So take the time to go out and do that survey. Today, though, we're going to be doing a live Q&A. I'm going to be taking questions from you guys who are watching live right now. And to get some of your questions answered, all you got to do is just put it in the comments. And Stephen Rochester here will make sure that he brings it on the screen. But also, I'm going to be having someone help me today. Usually he's in the back end. He's usually doing this from home, but now he's back at the office. Mr. Tyler Walbourne is actually going to be joining me today. There he is. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm
nice
good.
Nice to have you back.
I am back in the office officially week 2, so I'm really excited.
Why don't you tell people where you've been? Obviously, because the lockdown, but slightly even before the lockdown, you were away. You were busy.
I am a new parent. I'm a new father, and life is amazing. It truly is a blessing, as you know, with your two little ones.
So true, brother.
I'm learning every day that, you got to appreciate every little thing that happens. Nora waking up and just pointing at some random bird and screaming and everything, right?
She's so beautiful. I love seeing her on the Zoom calls and stuff like that, Tyler. For everybody who's coming on in right now, really quickly, I want to reiterate what's going to be going on today. We're going to be doing a live Q&A, taking your real estate questions. You might be working a deal, a specific deal right now that you just want our take on it. You might be wondering where some other places to invest into. If you didn't join us for the past brunch 2 weeks ago, make sure to go check that out.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we did a virtual flight. That
was a great one.
And you co-piloted with me along with Simos Papailias.
No, I'm the air traffic controller. I was just, in headquarters and making sure the flights.
You said air traffic controller. And all these messages are coming in. Congratulations. Big shout out to Mr. James Racondo from Ottawa. He actually came down to the REC headquarters yesterday. He had some business here in Toronto. He came into the studio. We got some pictures taken. He got some swag. He left with some swag. I appreciate you so much, James, for the loyalty, the support, and actually just wanting to come in and take some pictures with the crew around here. So big shout out to James and everyone else. Like seeing all these names, it's really, really cool. We got Susan on here. Good morning. Excited to be here from TCAE. You guys are going to be hearing a lot more of what that company is up to, but go check them out. Go Google them and see what they're up to as well. Not sure if Steven Sargent is on today, but if he is, big shout out to you as well. Tyler, you mentioned something, air traffic controller. That's kind of what, I call you my air traffic controller. Yeah. Without you, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I do. And our insiders, what I really want our REC insiders to know today is your main role. Your main role as the director of real estate concierge services. Yeah. And now I'm on camera too again, right, Stephen? I guess I'm on that one there. Perfect.
I got my camera.
You got your camera for sure. Your main role here at REC Canada is to be the director of real estate concierge services.
Correct.
What does that mean? What do REC insiders reach out to you for?
Yeah, sure. So my job is to be the connector of sorts, not just with real estate investing. If any of our insiders are looking for a local contractor, cleaner, mortgage broker, investment specialist across the country, I try my best to source out and find the right ones for the job. Usually what happens is, let's say someone needs a roofer in Prince George, British Columbia, and I bring that up a lot because I have found a roofer in Prince George, British Columbia. I've never been there. I would love to one day, but I've never been there. And what I did is I called about 12 companies that I sourced out and asked local investment specialists for their recommendations. I screened them. We have our own due diligence that we like to ask them. For example, how do they accept payments? How long have they been in the industry for? How many employees they have, which is also really important. Not that the contractor who only has 1 or 2 employees is the wrong choice. I always like to sprinkle in a few different types of businesses.
And I think it's important, right? Like with our organization here as well, we have a large, like people don't know about our 50 actual real estate agents, which I'm going to touch on as well today. Because I've seen some of the surveys and I noticed that not a lot of people know that we even have 50 agents. James came here yesterday. Yeah. He's done business with us. He didn't even know we have 50 agents that help people buy and just sell. Like, the regular real estate, right?
Yeah.
But then we have the 11 support staff, right? Yourself, like the leadership team, yourself,
Yeah.
Bobby Pume, Laura Stewart, Stephen Rochester,
We have
Shem
the media
Sharif,
squad.
the media, like all of that,
I'm
right?
repping the media squad.
I love that. I love that. I mean, look, without the media squad, we wouldn't be able to produce the content that we do, right?
I don't think we're really good at filming.
No,
No,
well,
my
well,
hands
no.
will just be shaky the whole time.
Yeah, filming, we're not good, but we're good on camera. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I
would
us.
like to think so.
I think we're easy on the eyes. Maybe the audience can let us know if we're easy on the eyes and easy on the ears. But in terms of our team, look, I mean, there's just no way Simos and I could be doing the amount of business that we do without you guys. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
we really come
appreciate
up with
that,
the
of course.
ideas and yes, you know, we're the guys on the camera, but everyone in our organization, it's because of them. We're standing definitely on the shoulders of giants. That's why we're able to see further. So to your point, brother, when you're doing the due diligence with contractors, general contractors, roofers, you want to know that they have a team, right? Like how are they scaling? So
Exactly.
what does it cost people to reach out to you, for you to go find someone in British Columbia, go find an electrician in Saskatchewan, go find a plumber in Quebec? What does that cost somebody?
Nothing.
I love that. I love that.
It really doesn't. This was a role that you, myself, Simeon created, and it was a need because we wanted to make sure that everyone reaches out to us, not just with investing, which is great. We are appreciative. Obviously, if you want to invest in real estate, we can help you. But we want to make sure that REC is everything real estate, and we encompass that. So we sat down, we created this role, and it's a value add. I implore everybody, reach out to me, even if you just wanted to pick my brain with screening tenants, your advertisement for your rental. If you do have something that's vacant right now, or you're looking to find a new tenant, I always love to talk about real estate, and I like to look at your listings and kind of pick ways that we can improve it. And
we made it very easy to reach out to you. Like, it's not, like, you don't need to write a formal long email or any of that sort. Just
please don't, actually. I would rather
everything in the subject line.
Yeah, you know everything. You can email me in the subject line.
Where?
At Tyler W at REC Canada. Or you could do info@REC Canada. Let me just write this here.
Put that in there, because Tyler is doing double duty today. He's
double time.
Don't talk too much. Like, don't give him too much credit, guys, because then he's gonna start asking for raises and all that kind of stuff. So he already has a big head. It's growing and growing. I had to, maneuver it into the room here. I love my boy here.
I'm modestly egotistical.
I like that.
Yeah.
Put your questions in the comments. We're going to take live questions. And if you actually want to come on screen, we're more than happy. If Stephen, that's okay for people to do. We can make it very easy on you. If you want to come on screen and ask your live question, we're more than happy to bring you on screen. But if you don't want to, because you're still in your pajamas and you didn't do your hair and didn't get the fresh fade like Jazzy, that's okay. Just put the questions in the comments and we'll make sure we answer them. But again, I see more and more people coming on. We will be doing the live draw for the $1,000 Visa gift card at around 11:10, 11:15 today. However, if you have not yet got your survey complete, guys, it takes 42 seconds to do. We've asked one question all the way down from 35, 36 questions. It really comes down to how can we serve you better? Quickly go to reccanada.com/survey. You still have time. We're still going to get your name into the draw. And for everybody who are already, we had a little close. I think it was a little over 800 people that were involved in this survey, a little over 800 people that were involved in this survey. Like, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts that you took that 42 seconds, that's 60 seconds to actually put in the information in the survey. Quickly go over if you haven't done it, because you still have some time. Tyler, you have some questions that came through to us this week already.
Yes.
Why don't you get the show started with some questions? I'll get that answered. To the audience, once again, just throw your questions into the comments, and Tyler and Stephen are watching them both, and I'll do my best to answer them. Ty, you're up, buddy.
Yes. And so we're going to be doing some rapid fire questions here.
I love that.
The first question we got is, do you recommend renting where you live?
Look, I, as a real estate broker now for 16 years, I obviously have an incentive for you to buy real estate, right? I'm not going to hide that fact. However, as we try to do our best to lead with education, what I'll tell you is I actually think that there is nothing wrong with renting where you live, as long as you invest the rest into income properties. I think, real estate is the best vehicle to create wealth. However, this rhetoric that is out there, and remember, it generally comes from real estate agents, and I'm not knocking anyone else's business model, but it's, you have to buy a home. No, you don't have to buy a home. It's good if you get into the market at least once, because then you could take advantage of the passive appreciation as well as the principal pay down. But if you actually rent where you live, it's not a bad thing, in my opinion, Ty. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you're renting right now where you live, but you got your ears and eyes open to invest into an income property. This way you can actually create wealth.
Yeah.
Right.
So I took action, right?
You took action. Congratulations on taking action on your first property. Right. So again, nothing wrong to rent where you actually live, because look, your principal residence, at the end of the day, your principal residence is not an asset. It truly is a liability, because you pay out money on a monthly basis. So the actual definition of an asset and liability is, if you pay something out, if it leaves your pocket, it's a liability. When it comes in, it's an asset. So the only way to grow assets in real estate is through income properties.
And it's, the adage is, as you say a lot, is, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market.
100%, buddy. And so, look, as there's a lot of stuff going on in the media, and we hear it on a regular basis, where the prices of homes are getting up there, and it's not going to be affordable for the younger generation.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, look, right? I understand
for young
that.
Canadians.
Yeah, it is getting tougher, right? Yeah. And without the help of mom and dad, most of these people, most of the younger generation, will not be able to buy a home or a condo in the city of Toronto.
Exactly.
But if you look at other major cities across the world, the Hong Kongs, the Londons, the Parises, the Manhattans, most people in the urban cities, you don't actually, like, there's a lot more renters than there is owners, the people that actually live in those homes, in those condos. So there is nothing wrong, again, with renting where you live. I know there's a question that came up in the live, but guys, keep on bringing your questions in lives. Don't worry. It doesn't matter how high it scrolls up. Tyler and Steven are watching these. I love that, buddy. I love that. The double duty you're doing today.
And what about, like, the tax implication? Like, is there any write-offs, obviously, with the rental?
100% there is, man. I mean, once, like, there's so many tax write-offs. You get to write off the interest if you're buying it off a line of credit. You also get to, if you're investing with a line of credit, you get to write off the interest portion of the mortgage. And every time you go see that property, you can write off the gas even. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not an accounting. I don't try to play one on brunches either, on your TV or on your phone right now, or your laptop. However, check with your accountant, but I can tell you, because I do it, you can write off a lot of stuff as an investor, including any of the renovations you have to do, right? That's why, in fact, sometimes, there's one or two of my properties where I have to actually put in $150 a month out of my pocket. So my rental income is not covering all my expenses, because I've refinanced the properties. Yeah. Okay. So I got to put in $150 a month. Guess what? I get to write that off as well. And so overall macro creating wealth in real estate, it consists more of just passive appreciation and cash flow. Cash flow is important, but to me personally, in my portfolio, it's not the end all be all. I mean, I have to look at the whole pie, right? And that includes tax advantages, because at the end of the day, if you're making a lot of money but you're not bringing it home, what are we doing it for? Yeah, right. So understand that there's tons of tax advantages, and again, there's nothing wrong with renting where you live, as long as you're savvy enough to save the money and invest that into income properties.
Okay, so the next question is, if you have between $50,000 to $75,000 of capital to invest, what type of opportunity would you recommend?
So there's a few options that you have. Number one would be to, like, if we're talking about the Greater Toronto area specifically, that's where our 50 agents are focused on. But if you're talking about the Greater Toronto area, you'll probably have one of the options is house hacking, meaning buying a property that has more than 2 units, so 2 units or more, you living in one of them, right? So, and if you really could do it, like a good mutual friend of all of ours, Scott McGilvery, lived in his basement. Don't quote me on this. With him and his wife for I think like 5-6 years. I mean, he always laughs. He would do it for the rest of his life if his wife allowed him. But living in the basement and renting out the upstairs, or looking at a triplex, a fourplex, and living in one of the units. Right now, with that $40,000 to $50,000, you're obviously going to need to. Just with that budget, with that type of capital, you're going to be looking at a property with 2 doors.
Yeah.
Okay. Through the house hacking option.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, just did a podcast episode with our very own insiders, Jody and Kate. Make sure to go check it out. It's the Jas Takhar podcast.
Jody and Kat are awesome.
Jody and Kat are awesome. They did their house hacking, and they also took advantage of the second option that you have with $40,000 to $50,000 is doing a joint venture.
Yeah.
Right. So in the GTA, to get an income property without doing that house hacking option, you're going to need about $125,000 to $130,000 cash required to close. That's your down payment, your legal fees, your land transfer tax, appraisals, all of that. Right. All in, call it about $125,000. So what's your option? Well, you could do what Jody and Kat did, and hundreds and thousands of others do, which is a joint venture. Find a partner that can also come up with $40,000 to $50,000. Now, somebody might say, well, where am I going to find somebody with $40,000 to $50,000? Well, right here, there's a reason why we do this live on Facebook, is start to connect with each other. If, in fact, let's try this with the audience right now. And I've seen a message here somewhere, maybe Stephen, that's saying somebody's having maybe trouble hearing with the audio. No, somebody's just having trouble logging in. That's fine. So right now, let's try this with the audience right now. If you would consider doing a joint venture, just put in the word JV. Just put in the word JV in the comments right now. So you guys can connect with each other. There's a reason why we're doing this live on Facebook, is so we can build a community, but we don't need to manage the community. We're up to a lot of stuff. We wanted to make it easier for you guys. So just put in the word JV. Look, the words are coming up there. JV.
I'm putting it right in there too.
You're looking for a JV.
I'm a firm believer in joint venture.
100%. Jas Takhar, Simos Papailias. We're looking for JV partners. We're not necessarily going to jump on every single opportunity. But see, now look, there's tons of JV people coming into the comments right now. Press on there. Look, guys, if you're new to Facebook, it's very easy. James Rokundo said he wants to do a JV, and so does Tasha Rodney. Click on her profile, send a private message, get on a phone call, be open. This is called networking. That's all. It's not like we don't need to get all crazy about it.
Maybe we do a joint venture like group, like Zoom meetup or something.
100%.
We'll do an information session.
For sure, we can do an information session. The process of actually doing a joint venture, don't make it so complicated, guys.
Let's drop some hearts if we want to do that. I'm going to drop a heart.
You want to drop a heart, and the heart is if you guys want us to put on some type of event, maybe we bring in a lawyer, maybe we bring in our friends, Alberta on Fire, Corey and Tiffany.
They structure joint ventures.
They structure JVs. I mean, lawyers structure JVs. We can figure that out, but don't forget, don't wait for us. Connect with each other right now. So there's no reason why, not yet, guys, after, call it 11:25, 11:30 today when brunch is done, why you guys are not messaging each other.
Yeah.
Hey, Candace. And this is what the message should sound like. Hey, Candace, what are you looking for? What type of partner are you looking for? Candace is going to say X, Y, or Z. If that fits what you're looking to, maybe you guys can set up a coffee.
Yeah.
And then you guys can take it to the next step. Okay. And if you call Candace, and Candace says, well, I'm looking for XYZ, and it doesn't fit what you're trying to do, that's okay. It's just a numbers game. It might not be Candace, but it might be Joe. After Joe, it might be Ray. You just got to reach out. I'm loving the comments here, guys, that's coming into JV.
Let's do it.
We'll do our event for sure, Tyler, because the audience has spoken, bro. And if there's anything that we're really, really good at, for the 97%.
It's being on camera.
It's aside from that, that is true. Well, I guess, look, it's funny that you said that, Ty, because I was going to say what we're really good at is reverse engineering.
Oh, for sure.
But what we're reverse engineering here is for us to be on camera again, right? To do a Zoom. So I like that. Don't forget to put your questions in the live, in the comment section, guys. We're going to be taking those live questions. However, there's still another option I can talk to you about with your 40 to 50. I think you said 50 to 75,000 in capital. Is if you are especially if you're having a hard time getting into an opportunity, here's one of the best ways to get into investing in real estate with about $50,000 to $75,000 is force yourself to do it. What do I mean by that? Is look at a new development, because what happens with a new development, specifically a condo, because it's a 3 to 3.5 year process, what happens is when you put your first 5% down, let's take a $600,000 condo as an example, your first 5% is going to be $30,000. That's due in about 30 days. The second installment of 5% of 30,000 will probably due in about, I would say, 6 to 9 months. So you're still under that 75,000. Now you've given 10%. You still have to put down another 10%, but that's due in 1.5 years. And then the final 5% is due 2.5 years down the road. The reason I love this third option is because now you're forced to save. You're committed. You have no choice. You have to come up with that extra money. And a funny thing happens to us humans. When we're committed and we're forced and our backs are up against the wall, we always find ways to actually perform. So that would be the third option that I would tell you to invest into or look into if you had that $50,000 to $75,000. What's next, guys? Keep going in the comments. JV, start throwing. If you're just coming on, what's up? Steph Pinero. Steph, I'm loving the content that you're putting out there, documenting your story. Guys, if you are on right now, click on Steph's profile. She's documenting a renovation that she's actually going through. This is the power of community. Get in touch with each other. Steph, you're doing a fantastic job. I love what you're up to, that you're actually documenting all the journey that you're going through as you do your renovations.
All content is good content.
All content is good content, man.
So the next question, it kind of ties into the renovations, which is great. Yeah. It seems like you knew the question.
I didn't.
What are the top renovations you would recommend investors do to maximize their return?
Well, look, I would start off with, the number one renovation you could do and to add value to your property is adding an income suite. Why? Because that adds value. It adds income to the property. So adding an income, a basement apartment. So if you can find a property that maybe has a finished basement, has a separate entrance, but it doesn't have a kitchen, it doesn't have a bathroom. Yeah, in fact, even if it's unfinished, right? As long as the city and the bylaws allow you to actually put in a basement apartment, that's one of the best returns that you're going to get. It's actually the number one return that you're going to get. Number two would be kitchens. Why? Because if anybody's been to a party, and I know we haven't been to live parties of recent, however, the party has happened in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. It's after showing, 5,000 homes in my career, the first place people walk into, both husband, both wife, both partners walk into the kitchen, because that's where they're going to be spending most of the time.
Even when they're doing the showing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, when we're doing the showings, right? When like that's where everybody goes
What's
into.
the first thing they open? Is the fridge.
100%. I don't know why that is, but it's just to see what other people are eating, I guess. I guess that's what it is, right? The kitchen would be number two in terms of the best return that you'll get on a renovation. Number three would be bathrooms. Three would be bathrooms, and then four, 5, and 6 is flooring, as well as like fixtures that you can make changes to, and painting. Painting, actually, you were telling me just before we started today, you painted your townhome, 1,300-ish square feet,
around that,
a couple of $1,000s. Right? Maybe a little under that. You did it yourself.
We did it ourselves.
Yeah.
So the the main floor, we actually paid someone to do. So that was, 700 square feet or so. That cost about $900. And then we painted the rest of the house ourselves. That's when the lockdown started. So we just wanted a job to do.
Yeah.
I would say all in for that was about $1,300.
Yeah, so
it's kind of what we paid.
See, it's not that expensive to paint, and you did it on your own, as you just mentioned.
half of it.
Even if you brought in a painter, you're probably looking at maybe 3 times that, just off the top of my head. But the return you're going to get, because it freshens up the place.
Yeah.
It makes it very modern, especially if you had the pink wallpaper. No, like, I'm not, dogging anybody who has pink wallpaper in their bathroom, but it's probably not the best when you're thinking about refinancing or selling a property, because it just doesn't cast a big net. Go with neutral colors. Don't go with the boring white. It starts to feel like kind of like a hospital. Go with some modern colors, and it will definitely give you the highest return.
And then, that's kind of a question that I'm just thinking about now. So when you are ready to refinance or pull out some equity, what's the process? What do you recommend? Like, who do you recommend reaching out to start get the ball rolling?
Yeah, so for me, that's a great question, Tyler. For me, I just went through a refinance 2.5 weeks ago, and the money's actually in my account, so I can really talk about this. But we've helped thousands of people doing it. The first person, in my opinion, you should be reaching out to is an independent mortgage broker, unless you have a strong relationship with somebody at the bank. Back 25, 30 years ago, I believe that existed. Now it's different, right? Most people do online banking, telephone banking. You really don't have a strong relationship anyways with somebody at the bank. But if you do, go to them. Mm-hmm. So I'm speaking to most, 99% of people that reach out to an independent mortgage broker for a couple of reasons. One, 99% of the time, they don't charge you anything. So they do all the legwork, do all the paperwork, put everything together for you, and it doesn't cost you anything. How nice is that?
Yeah.
Okay. But more importantly, even if there's, I said 99.9% of the time they don't charge you. There is times that there's a broker's fee associated, like 1%. Okay. And why is that? Because and why I don't even mind paying that at times and advising clients to do that is because these mortgage brokers, these independent mortgage brokers in Canada, are working with over 477 lenders. You and I don't I'm in the business and I don't even know all 477, right? And so they're going to be able to shop for not only the best rate, which is very, very important, but they're also going to be able to shop for the best terms, and they're also going to a good investor savvy mortgage broker, because now we're going into the niche of what independent mortgage brokers do. Not all, just like real estate brokers. Not all real estate agents are cut from the same cloth, meaning not every real estate agent out of the 65,000 in the GTA knows investment real estate, right? Or not all are good with first-time home buyers or whatever it is. And it's the same when it comes to independent mortgage brokers. So we want to make sure we deal with an investor-savvy broker, because they're going to be able to look at your portfolio from a 30,000-foot view. And that's very important. Because when we start looking at the next property, we want to be set up for that next property ahead of time. Yes. And maybe your ambitions are that you want to own 100 doors, and it's okay if your ambition is just to get one. I think one investment property will change the course of your life. Like Tyler, you just bought your first one, bro.
Yes.
You just massive congratulations to you and Cass.
Thanks.
Great if you want to get more, but this one is going to change Nora's life.
Yes.
Right? This one property is going to change Nora's life now, because at the end of the day, say you never refinance it for 20 years. Nora's one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When she's 21, you're going to have a property that's paid off.
Yes.
Now, you're around myself and Simos, so you hear the word refinancing.
I'm gonna definitely try to leverage this.
I have a feeling you're going to leverage this, right?
Yeah.
And so quickly going back to your process, reach out to an independent mortgage broker anytime you're thinking about refinancing. They're going to see which lender or credit union or trust company you should be dealing with. And it's quite simple. I mean, I just went through it. The whole process took me, I'm going to say, about 6 to 7 days, right? They set up the appraisal company. They get the value of the property. This property that I refinanced, I bought it for $339,000. 2010. I lived in it for 3.5 years until my firstborn, and actually Millen, when he turned 1, is when we left that condo. Yeah. I rented it out. Okay. The value came in at a little above $650,000. Okay, so right on track on the average in the GTA in the every decade values double.
Yeah.
Okay, small little 1-bedroom condo, King and Strawn, downtown Toronto, and I refinanced and pulled out 200,000 exactly. Sorry, $198,000 tax free. Tax free. There's no tax. I didn't sell anything, so I just pulled it out. It's sitting in my account, and now I've already, already looked at where else I'm going to be investing into. But the process took me again 6, 7, 8 days max to get it all done.
And I actually spoke to an investor-focused mortgage broker, and he let me know the one thing to I believe look at is, getting financing for the next purchase is obviously what you're trying to accomplish, but you have to look at the big picture and the overview of your portfolio, because sometimes what happens is lenders or mortgage brokers, they want you to pull out as much equity as you can. And sometimes that taps you out. It affects your buying power. So, having somebody that looks at everything instead of just the next purchase is critical.
Well, look,
honestly, it is.
When your ambitions are that you want to get 100 doors, to your point, because when you hit the 5-6 door mark, it gets very, very tough. That's when, now we stop putting the JVs. Guys, if you're just coming on, there's a couple of polls, for a lack of a better word, that we were doing. If you're looking into doing a JV, please put the word JV in the comments. And I want you guys to start connecting with each other offline, online, whatever it is. That's the power of networking. Do not forget, please. Your net worth will always be determined by the size of your network. And you have close to 50 people on and off here that are coming on. And we're going to have thousands actually that watch the recording. So we know the numbers. So they see the comments as well. Just put the word in JV and start connecting with each other. Ty, let's take another question. Sorry, before you do that, I just wanted to remind everyone, this is the last call. The last call. Yes, we are at a bar right now. This is the last call for you to put in your survey to be randomly chosen. We're actually going to random.org, actually is the website that we're using, to quickly go to reccanada.com/survey. It takes 42 seconds to fill out the survey. It's one question. We just need one answer. It could be point form, or it could be a long-winded. I mean, we got some like one-page answers from some people. You don't need to do that. It doesn't matter. I mean, we
appreciate it. Yeah.
I was going to say thank you for the people who did the one-pagers. Thank you. But that doesn't mean that they're going to get selected, because we went to random.org, and that's where we're going to select. We're going to do it live with you guys. I'm going to say in about 10 minutes, but we're going to cut off. We're going to cut off the ability to put in the survey in 1 minute. So go there right now. reccanada.com. I see it in the comments. reccanada.com/survey. There was a couple of questions in the live, Ty, that I want to make sure are Steven that we can bring up.
Sometimes I don't see some of these ones.
It's okay. I want to make sure that we didn't forget it. It's a gentleman by the name of Glenn, I believe. Let's bring up his live question. I will get to it in 2 seconds here, guys. I appreciate any tips or advice on picking a real estate investing mentor. I'm looking at being active in flipping. I mean, look, here's my tips or advice on picking any mentor in any field. It doesn't matter if it's investing or not. Choose some. Here's my high level answer to you. Success leaves clues. Success will always leave clues. Find somebody who's doing it at the highest level. If you're thinking about flipping specifically, you probably don't want to speak to me specifically, again, because I'm not the one who does a lot of flips. I'm a buy and hold guy. Okay. However, there are thousands of people online that actually do a lot of flipping. And so I want you to reach out to every single one of them. And my advice to you would be try to get them coffees. Yeah, just get them coffees. Look, if you can't get at the table, if you can't sit at the table, get into the room to get them coffees. Because what happens over time is you're just going to be immersed in the conversations that these mentors are having. And you're going to reach out. You might need to reach out to 47 people, Glenn. And it might be the 48th person that says, yeah, I actually needed somebody to, drive me around. or get me the coffees or get some printing. And so that's what I would advise you to do. Just reach out to people now. And also, just on a side note, be careful when you're looking at the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the YouTubes of the world that they're actually really doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one way to find out is make sure that they actually own properties. Ask them the questions. How many properties do you own? Where do you own them? How many times have you done this before? Because if they're just a coach, I want you to be careful.
Yeah.
And this is my personal
Or if
opinion.
they've only just advised people but never took action.
I never, that's what, to me, that's, I mean, like a coach, you know what I mean? That they've never actually done it. I'm probably going to say move away from them, because those are not the people that you want to do it to. Shout out to Donna Hoskins, who always joins us from beautiful British Columbia. As you mentioned earlier, Ty, 8 in the morning there, and you're joining us. Hopefully the golf game yesterday was good. I know you were playing. Hopefully it didn't rain there yesterday, Donna. Tyler, a couple of more questions, and then we're going to do this live draw, guys.
Okay, so looking to buy my first commercial multifamily. What is the first step assessing the property's ROI, especially if I can't go and see it, if it's out of province or a distance I can't get to?
Well, look, I mean, when you're investing out of province, you want to make sure out of province, out of country. Again, something that I have,
I can't touch.
I'm familiar with, because out of that refinance that I did, I'm actually investing into a Florida property. Now, especially during the lockdown, I wasn't even able to go. And so you want to make sure that you build out a very, very strong team out in Florida. How do you build out a team? Ask around, ask here in our community, ask in other communities, your friends, your family, who have you worked with in that province? So if you're in British Columbia, okay, I mean, and I couldn't have timed it any better with Donna coming in to the live here. I mean, she is in British Columbia, but she's done a lot of investments here in Ontario, and specifically in the GTA with us. She asked around, obviously. You can maybe reach out to her, shoot her a little message on Facebook. How did you find REC? Like, how were they? Ask her. She's going to give you the blunt answers, and we don't pay people to give testimonials for us. So to answer your question, when you're looking at a multiplex that you're not going to be able to see, make sure you have a very, very strong team. When looking at any investment property, to me, it comes down to location. It all comes down to location. I'm personally looking for properties under 500 meters around transit, because I know what happens to values and rentability. I want a consistent flow of tenants coming in to my property. If somebody leaves, I want to be able to get another tenant in there right away, because I don't want to be vacant for too long, right? And so what determines population, what determines transit, what determines employment, all of that, it's location. So for me, as long as it's close to where people want to be, I'm going to look at that. It's going to take it to the next stage. When it comes to a multiplex, I'm looking at what repairs have been done to this building. Yeah. Okay. What is the rent roll? How long have the tenants been in there? Can I go in? We talked about renovations earlier. Can I go into this property, maybe get the tenants out and do some renovations, which will bring up the value? And then I could refinance it, pull out the equity, hold on to it, and buy some more.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Tai?
Yeah. When I'm speaking with a lot of our insiders who do invest in multifamily, I find one of the challenges is those, grandfather tenants. Like, what do you recommend there?
Well, with grandfather tenants, I mean, there's not really much that you can do, right? If in Ontario here, if a property was built before November 15th, 2018, rental guidelines apply. And right now, I think it's at 2.1% in Ontario. You can't increase the rent on a tenant more than 2.1% for a property that was built before November 15th, 2018.
Yeah.
Which on the flip side, if you look at a new build in Ontario, rental guidelines don't apply to you.
Yeah.
You can increase the rent every single year on the same tenant as much as you want. Okay, that's the rules right now. Okay, and there hasn't been any news around any of the liberals or the conservatives or the NDP making any changes on that as well. So that's nice, right? If you have a building that you're looking at that has grandfather tenants, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to keep that into consideration. You got to look at what the numbers are. Are you able to acquire this property at a price point where the numbers actually make sense? And if it doesn't, then just walk away. don't force the numbers. If there's some advice I can give you, don't force the numbers. Don't be emotional. As an investor, if you're living in the property, it's a totally different story. Go crazy, go nuts. It's a different set of glasses that you're looking at it from. But if you're actually an investor, you can't get emotional about any of the properties that you're looking at. Guys, I get 50 to 60 new builds at my desk. Myself and Simos probably get 250 to 300 opportunities, multiplexes, commercial, all of that at our desk every single year. And I'm telling you, with our new builds and all the commercials and the multifams, we probably narrow that down to like 20. Why? Because for a reason like Tyler mentioned, you might have tenants in there that are grandfathered in there, and the numbers are not going to make sense. Yeah, it's a great location, all that, but I'm not going to be able to increase the rents. I'm not going to be able to add some type of value to the property. Or when it comes to new builds, it's just not in first access pricing. We have units that have been given to us, but the prices have been increased already 3 times.
Yeah,
I can't have James Rokundo bought at one price, and then Donna Hoskins comes to me 2 weeks later and wants to buy a unit, and I sell it to her and talk to her and advise her to get that for $40,000 more. That's just not what we're building here. So there's a myriad of reasons why why properties don't pass our due diligence. I got a note from Stephen Rochester that there is no more surveys coming in to there's no more surveys being allowed to come into the portal right now. So I want to thank everyone. Over Ty. I mean, we had a little over 800 people that were involved in the survey, man. Like, that is
incredible,
mind-boggling. And really, thank you for all the feedback that you gave. I haven't seen them all, obviously, but I have picked out as I've been watching as they were coming in all week. It's pretty cool to see them. Let's take 1 or 2 more questions.
Yeah, we actually have 2 that came in.
They came in live. Let's take these 2 live questions. And then what we'll do is we'll do the random.org pull of a name random for the $1,000 gift card.
Yeah. Okay. So from James, what is the mortgage approval if you want to get 3, 4, or more rental properties?
Well, look, it's all going to depend on qualifications, right? I mean, what kind of income are you earning? What other properties do you have? I do like to also look at multiplexes for that same reason, because when you go 5 doors and above, James, on a property, the lender weighs your application more on what the income in that property is, rather than just looking at you personally as James. They're still going to be looking at you as the applicant, but more of the weight of the approval is on the income. But when it's 4 doors and less, it's all based on you. Now, some lenders will take into consideration the rental income that is coming from your other properties, but it's like 50% of the rental income, or it's 75, 80%. There really isn't a lender that I'm aware of right now that will take 100% of rental income from all your other properties. So just understand that. What is the process? The process is sending us an email. Okay, we're not a mortgage company. Doesn't cost you anything to do, James. Put it in the email that I want to speak with an independent mortgage broker. Just put that at info@reccanada.com. I want to speak to an independent mortgage broker.
I'll put that in the chats too.
Thank you, Ty. I appreciate that, brother.
And it's part of our real estate action plan, the program we have. If you want to
talk about the real estate action plan, what is that, Tyler?
Yeah, so the real estate action plan essentially is a way for our insiders and one of our experts to have a quick call and build this 6-month, 1 year, and 5-year plan. It's really important, just like we were talking about before, looking overview. We want to know who you are as an investor, your current capital, real estate properties that you own, how they're performing, the value, the debt on it, as well as your goals in real estate. Because my goals and your goals are totally different, 100%. And all of our insiders have different things they're trying to achieve. And through the discussion, we build you that plan. You learn more about our REC, our different divisions, our multifamily division, our commercial, buying and selling, pre-construction. We have a few different divisions, concierge division.
And why don't you, really quickly to your point there, Ty, if you guys are to the audience right now, live, and the ones that are watching the recording, just put in an email in the subject line, I apologize, at info@reccanada.com, the word REAP, REAP. Tyler will reach out to you.
Yeah, and I just put it in the chat
and get that set up. You said there was another question in live,
yeah.
And then we're going to do the draw.
Yeah. Well, just to talk about the mortgage part though, but the first part is to connect you with an investor focused mortgage broker. So that's the first part of the real estate action plan, and it doesn't cost you anything.
And then you come to me or
There's no
Simos.
obligation. Yeah. So the second question is from Jackie. What exactly does it mean when a tenant is grandfathered?
Yeah, so grandfather tenant is someone that, so if you're looking at a unit or a home and the tenant's been there for 5 years now, and the property again is built before November 15, 2018, you can't kick them out. You can't kick the tenant out. You also can't increase the rent on them as well, Jackie. Wow, we have a lot of people who are wanting to do JVs. Congrats to everybody who put in the word JV in the comments, because I am really, really hoping that you guys are going to start connecting with each other on a regular basis and start finding out what James might want and what Donna might want as a JV partner, getting it set up for you guys. Once you find a partner and you find a property, it's very, very simple. We'll put you in touch with the right lawyers, the guys and gals that do this hundreds of times a year. It's not very complicated to set up. The 2018 comment you're making, is that just in Ontario or all across Canada? Great question, Adam. And thank you for, I believe it's the same Adam. Thank you for all the support that you've been giving us on Instagram as well. Yes, right now that's only in Ontario. I cannot speak about the rest of Canada. In fact, like for example, Alberta's laws around tenants is a lot less strict than it is here in Ontario. But for Ontario, before November 15, 2018, if a building was built, the home was built, the condo was built, you cannot increase the rent more than the allowable amount, which is always hovering around 1.7 to 2.2%. There was a freeze on it as of the lockdown last year. They haven't lifted that freeze, which means you can't even increase the rent, not even by 1%. You can't increase the rent at all with a tenant. Now we'll start to see what changes get made for 2022. Are we ready for this?
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
Some cameras were moving and stuff like that. Guys behind me. Oh wow, this is really cool. So they can't. I don't know how much people can actually really see it.
You can just see that is being done.
Okay, well, Stephen Rochester being the creative director that he is, as well as the main guy when it comes to the ones and twos of setting everything up for our brunches and all the other content, wanted to make sure that everyone saw how random the selection is going to be that we, Tyler, big shout out to you, Ty, because you're the one who found random.org. And so we put in the names.
It couldn't be more random.
It couldn't be more random. We put in all the names of everyone who conducted the survey. And what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be selecting a name and email, I guess, is how this thing works, Tyler.
We'll just do the name and then I have the email attached.
All right, perfect. Guys, once again, thank you so much to everyone who actually put in comments and let us know how we can serve you better, because as an organization, we've been in business now for 16 years, and at the end of the day, we have our own ideas on how we want to conduct business, but none of that matters. None of that matters. Our mission statement here is to treat everyone with respect, to exceed expectations, and to think long term from our perspective, because we've got to make sure the lights stay on to service you, but also your perspective, you as the client, as our friend, as our REC insider. But to the number 2 point of exceeding expectations, the only way we can ever do that is if we know what your expectations are. And so for everyone, the over 800 people that were involved with this survey, we thank you for taking that time so we understand how we can serve you better, because we're learning. We're not perfect. And the only way that we're going to get better is if you, as our insiders, tell us. And some of the answers ranged from how we can do these brunches better, what type of topics, how we can serve our property management arm, how can we do better in our property management arm, how can we help more first-time home buyers, what kind of content you're looking for. So we really, really just thank you and appreciate you. But Tyler, The stage is yours.
All right, let's do it.
This is going to be the name that Tyler pulls out is going to be the winner of $1,000 Visa gift card today.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Daniel Garrett.
Daniel Garrett. What's his email address?
I have it here.
You have it here?
Yeah,
Okay, great. So we don't have to shout it out to everybody. Okay, big shout out to Daniel Garrett. You just won the $1,000 Visa gift card. Please take a moment right now, if you're watching live or the recording, to email us info@reccanada.com. This way, you're actually at the top of our inbox. But either way, Tyler will be reaching out to you right after we finish this brunch to let you know, in case you're not on the live. To everyone today, Tyler, thank you for stepping in and asking the questions and bringing all the value and just your energy and your smile and all that, buddy. I really appreciate you, Ty. Thank you so much for that.
I loved it. I'm really happy to be here.
I know you are, buddy. It's so nice to just have you back in the office after whatever it's been, 16, 17 months. So it's really nice.
Taking an adjustment, though, for
100%.
sure. Like I after the first week, I was exhausted. Like just
when you got back?
Well, yeah, so last week was my first week, and I was exhausted on the Friday. I was like, okay, I'm happy there was no brunch last Friday because I was done.
I appreciate that. To Steven, thank you, buddy, behind the ones and twos too. Everyone on our leadership team, the Simos, the Laura, the Bobby, the Shem, appreciate you. To the media squad and to our 50 realtors, the guys and gals that are on the cement and knocking on doors and bringing value, selling and helping people sell their properties for top dollar, helping buyers achieve their dream of home ownership. I mean, you guys are just doing a fantastic job. Thank you to all of our 50 agents and to all of our insiders. Again, I just want to say thank you for all the loyalty and the ongoing feedback that you give us, because again, that's the only way we can get better. If for some reason we didn't get to your question, please take a moment and just send it to info@reccanada.com. Someone from our team will answer that question. And if you want any of the services, which are absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything, all you got to quickly do is send an email to info@reccanada.com letting us know what you need. Our next brunch, we will be taking 2 weeks off. We do it every other Saturday, but because the second Saturday from now is a long weekend, and we know that everyone is hustling and bustling, trying to get kids to school if they're going back to school. You might be going away to the cottage. So our next brunch will be Saturday, September 11th, same time, same channel, here live on Facebook, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, but we will not be doing a brunch on September 4th because of the long weekend. But if you guys need anything from us, just reach out to us. Again, love every single one of you.